to be strong. The darkness had tried to swallow me. Strangers are full, but I hear your call. I'm afraid I don't get to cry. Gravity. 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 Gravity.
When I'm lonely in the dark.
Welcome to the SplitLine Off-Road Podcast.
Are you ready to go GNCC racing? Fans running to the fences, side by side. Boards gets a better line.
Oh boy, we got wheel to wheel right here, String. Oh, and Stu Baylor right behind him.
Russell gonna try to dive bomb down to the inside. No, can't get the line he wants. Duvall is in control. We open back up. Here comes Neal once again. He's going for the pass. Oh, the bumping going on.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the SplitLine Off-Road Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Rodney Cooper, and with me today, as always,
Brandon White here, guys. What is up?
and we have a special guest in studio. Devin Masters is here to join us. He is racing the GNCC series. We just came back from Big Buck, so Devin, thanks for coming in. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's going to be an awesome show tonight, guys.
Yeah.
Got a lot to talk about.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of eventful things that happened over the weekend. So
Yes, it was a
that's good
very, very eventful weekend. Episode 65?
Yeah, 65.
Man, 65.
We're growing.
Before we get any further, we need to thank our sponsors, Guts Racing. Since 1985, Guts has been in the game in Northern California. They've been they have Joel Hetrick, they have Thad Duvall, they have Craig DeLong.
Right.
Those guys, best seat covers, best seats. Do you
Right.
run Guts?
I actually just got a gut seat cover because of you guys.
Oh, okay.
Nice,
Yeah, that's it.
nice.
Did
They
you,
have
did
Devin
you use it
Masters.
this weekend?
I didn't get to use
Oh,
it.
okay. I got you.
But,
He's got a new bike rolling out next weekend, right?
okay.
So
Yeah.
not to bring out any surprises just yet, but yeah, he's going to be ready for that with the gut seat cover on. So we're going to be giving away a gut seat cover
We
tonight
are.
as well.
Right on.
Yep, we
Yeah.
have a few guys that kind of tied for the wind over the weekend, so we'll be giving one away. We got Seal Savers. They are the first and original fork saver since for 21 years ago. They've been in business. The ultimate seal protection, ATV, UTV, dirt bike, mountain bike. You guys know how hard that people are on those side-by-sides. You know how hard they are on the quads.
Right.
You know how hard they are on the dirt
Right.
bikes. Save those seals.
Right.
Save 25% by using the code SplitLine with a capital S on their already affordable products. So, yeah, just save. That's good deal right there.
Nobody likes a leaky seal.
No, absolutely not. And we also have Sunstar chain and sprockets.
Right.
Best chain and sprockets in the game. They have they've manufactured from case hardened chrome steel for ultimate strength. They are the best by far.
I run them.
Best looking as well.
They last pretty good time.
Yep.
They're very good looking.
Yeah,
I love the black, man. I love the black sprocket.
Sweet logo. Look at that sign back there.
I love it.
Yeah, thank you, Sunstar, for coming on. And we have a new sponsor.
Yeah.
Brand new as of today.
Yep.
The Mountain State Hare Scramble Series is coming on to sponsor the show. Devin, we know that you run a lot of the Mountain State races. Brandon, you ran a
I've ran
series.
the whole series, yeah.
Yep, I've ran the whole series. Great group of people. Richie Nola and the group over there, they kill it, and we're excited to have them on board. Going to be bringing you guys a little bit of action from those races, talking a little bit about what went on at those races. So we're excited to get that underway.
Yeah.
So before we get going too far, we need to talk just a little bit about Supercross.
Just a hair.
Just a hair.
Just a hair.
Did you watch the Supercross race this weekend? It may have been hard for you because it was like as you were coming off the track.
Well, they had a big Supercross party at the GNCC. I don't know if he got to go over and check it out, or he might have been on the road.
I drove down, and my buddy Darian went with me, and we went down on Friday. We got there. We slept in the truck all night, raced, and as soon as I was done racing, we got some food in us and headed back home because the kids were missing me and they wanted me home. But I didn't watch Saturday night, but I watched it Sunday morning.
Nice.
Gotcha.
Nice. Good racing.
Yeah. No one spoiled it for you with Chase Sexton, right?
Actually, Darian did.
Oh, man.
Come on,
Can't
Darian.
do that.
Yeah, he was like, I'm not going to tell you anything about the race, but Chase Sexton definitely wrecked really hard.
on the second to last lap.
On
Yeah.
the last lap.
Yeah. Jet Lawrence looks like a machine.
Yep. Who's faster, Christian Craig or Jet Lawrence?
I'm excited to see that.
I think Jet Lawrence is a smarter racer.
Yep.
So at 18, I think he is more mature than what Christian Craig is right now. You could even see it in the heat race when Jet went out there and he ran a couple of slower laps, and then he just all of a sudden turned it on and made the passes that he needed to. So.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be interesting for sure.
East-West shootout is going to be fun.
That's what I'm excited about. I'm excited about the East-West shootout. Walker Taylor says Craig has more raw speed. We'll see.
I don't know. Whoop speed.
Whoop speed.
Definitely whoop speed.
Yeah, for sure. So let's get into the fantasy over on the Rocky Mountain side. Brandon, you have that?
Oh, I do, man. So Rocky Mountain right now, JDMX 050, which is Jeremy DeWitt. We all know him right now. He's leading our league.
Okay.
Mick Ivory is number 2 with B. Moroda. Man, there's some weird names coming in here now.
Everybody has all these made up names for fantasy.
Racer X169 is in 4th. Ronnie B 109 is in 5th. Jay's in 6th, and Justin Groff 282. And then our current leader that was like leading last week was Big Ben, is back to 8th.
Maybe forgot to put the picks in. We had several people say they forgot to put picks in because of the race being so early this week.
Yeah.
Over on the Pulp MX side, we have Backflip in 336 in first place for the weekend. Justin Groff in second place, Hammer 512 in third, Marty Seal Savers in fourth, Abby 88012 in fifth. Let's see here. I'm way down there, so we're not going to.
Did you have a bad weekend?
Not really. Just everybody's scoring like crazy points.
I mean, I had a good one. I had all 8 in, but 2 wrecked. Somebody, Max Volan on the first lap got me 1 point. I'm like, come on, dude.
For the season, Mason Seal Savers, he's staying steady in first place. Kyler Murray, he's creeping his way up there.
Yeah.
That was our last year winner.
Yeah.
He's in second. Hammer 512 is in third. GNCC 62243 is in fourth, and Marty Seal Savers is in fifth. So, yep, you guys got to pick it up.
I got to pick it up.
Do
you play, Devin?
So I was doing the Pulp MX one, and I started off okay. I was like top 10, and then I got distracted with working on bikes and stuff.
Hey, you're busy, man.
It happens.
You're busy.
Man. It's crazy.
So now for the real fantasy. The first round of SplitLine GNCC Fantasy was this week, and we worked our butts off getting it to you guys. And
it was a hit.
It was a hit. We had 43 people play.
Mm-hmm.
Devin, you swung for the fences and had some good picks in the ATVs. Your bike team kind of suffered a little bit.
A lot of people's bike teams, except for mine.
Yeah. But so this is crap. Did you see the leaderboard?
No.
Brandon is in the lead with 189 points.
That's right.
And in second place, Darian Good, your buddy, with 167 points. Tom Williams.
So I won the chain of sprockets, right?
No. Darian's getting the chain of sprockets and is actually Devin's taking it to you. So if it comes up missing, you know who to go look for.
That's right.
Tom Williams, my brother-in-law, the guy that actually built the spreadsheet to
Right.
help us figure this thing out a little bit easier.
Yeah.
He's in third place.
Wow.
So yeah,
He knows how those formulas work.
yeah, it's and I don't. It's a hit. It's a hit. So
Right.
Speaking of that, the new handicaps will be out Saturday.
Mhm.
So we'll be doing that, and then after Saturday, you guys are open to pick your picks again.
Right.
If I could ask, please, this time put round 2 or
Right.
just 2 above your picks. That way we can kind of
There's no
identify
confusion
no confusion
or
and
no arguments.
yeah, no arguments.
Yeah, we
don't wanna
already
argue.
had one sour,
Yeah, and if-
one sour apple that I won. One sour apple.
Oh yeah, one sour apple, Groff.
No names. No names. I'm joking.
Yeah. So, and if you guys haven't played before and you want to get in on it, just all you have to do is message us either Instagram or Facebook your team picks. You can message us 3 ATV picks and 3 bike picks.
Yes.
We're going to put the list out as Devin did this past weekend. You can pick off of that top 20 list,
Mhm.
and they will automatically be a 22 handicap.
Right.
I
Yep.
would just like to point out that Stephen Harrell, he got me a bunch of points.
He did.
Steven was the top scorer for the ATVs, and I tagged him in a post, and he was like, "I didn't even know there was a fantasy.
fantasy.
That's awesome."
So does that mean he's going to play round 2?
Yeah.
I hope so.
Hopefully. I'll
Steven,
tell
if
you what,
you're listening,
we've had a lot of people that are like, "Oh man, how do we sign up for this?" And we're
Yeah.
like, "Well, we really wasn't trying to get it out too much because we thought we were going to have to hand write everything."
now that we have it as a spreadsheet, it's a little bit easier. So
Right.
you guys are free to sign up. We're excited to.
And our plan's working with it because there's bike guys that are like, "Dude, can we just put a bike one in? I don't know too much about the quads."
sure,
And
you're
then
only
there's,
going to get half points at most.
and then there's quad guys that are like, "I don't know nothing about the bikes." Like this is our plan. Like bring everybody together, play a good game of fantasy. So
Yeah, so it's fun.
yeah,
It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Hey, so we also did kind of another fantasy this weekend that we always do. It's the Guts Racing seat cover.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Later in the show, Devin's gonna pick a number.
later in the show, you want to do it now?
No, do it late in the show. They have to stay around and listen.
Okay. Later in the show. Don't forget. You guys can't forget.
Don't
If we
forget.
start forgetting, remind us.
Right.
Yeah. So Brandon decided to do it later. That's out
Later
of
in the
order.
show.
So I mean,
Listen, I told you I wasn't following that order thing. You got
hey,
going on.
so since we gave the free Sunstar chain and sprockets away this weekend, next weekend, remember how RJ Brandenburg was in?
Yeah.
We're going to give away the T-shirt. I believe he said he wanted to give away.
I think so.
We're going to give away a RG
Almost heaven.
RG Almost Heaven T-shirt to the winner
Mhm.
of round 2.
I know it's
of
not as
the,
cool as a chain and sprocket kit, but
well, we got to mix it up.
we got to.
We got
We got to save
T-shirt,
those.
chain and sprocket kit. I mean,
They can't all be gold.
they can't all be gold. They can't. We decided for the first one, it needed to be a big prize.
Right.
Yeah, for our first inaugural
Inaugural
game.
thing.
Yeah. So, and then next week we're going to be having a new game, and I've not told Devin about this.
Oh no, not yet.
The new game, Seal Savers, is going to be. It's going to be brought to you by Seal Savers. So,
Okay.
this new game, I don't know the name of it. I've been thinking of a name.
What would you call it? Like Guess Who Moto Edition? Is that what
Yeah, Guess Who Moto Edition, something like that. So what it is we are going to have, and you guys can enter this as of right now if you
Right.
want to.
If you want to email it or Instagram, I guess
How
you
about
can-
Instagram?
You can do Instagram.
Instagram or Facebook Messenger.
Mhm.
Send us a picture of you without the bike,
Or
that
your
you
gear.
race.
Or you can wear
You can do
gear
gear
if you want.
but you can't have your bike in it. So send us a picture of you, and my wife is going to come in studio,
Okay.
and we're going to pick 5 of you out of all the people that send pictures. We're going to pick 5 of you. My wife is going to come in studio, and she is going to try to match what you race and what class you race just by looking at you.
Right.
So
It's going to be interesting.
so
That's going
let's-
to be tough.
yeah. So what you do is you send a picture of yourself in, and then you send whether you ride an ATV or a dirt bike, and then you send what class you run,
Right.
and then she will pick. She
Right.
she'll have multiple choice, and if she gets all 5 right, then we'll do a drawing.
I mean, have you ever done that? Like kind of like judge a book by its cover, kind of like,
Yeah, I'm terrible at it.
right?
But I think for me, it'd be kind of weird because people know what I ride because I'm like the last guy on this side of the Mississippi that even owns those. So
right.
Exactly. So you can't. No, she's not gonna. Okay, so she's not gonna pick like the brand or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
She's just going to see your face.
Yeah,
Or
she's
a
gonna see
face.
At your
anybody's
face.
And she's going to be like, well, Devin might run, I don't know, like bike C, like a bike and B and C class.
Yeah. So don't
know
get
what
your
I mean.
feelings hurt either, guys. If he says that you're like a C class rider.
You know,
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
This is something different.
No, it'll be fun. Hey, I forgot to mention the guests that are coming on tonight.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Huge. No one cares. We're here's all we need.
Yeah.
Right? I'm joking.
So we have Brycen Neal, the round 1 big buck winner for GNCC. He will be on here in probably about 15 minutes. We'll be talking to him, and then we're going to have Mike Witkowski on, XC2 bike winner. Right. So star-studded show.
Yeah.
Devin's kind of outshining them.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah. So
I mean, I am here in person, so
that's right.
Yeah.
You count more.
Exactly. Absolutely. In-studio guests are always the best.
Right.
And Devin, you're not running Seal Savers, so we're going to be sending you home tonight with some Seal Savers. So that way you don't get sand and those springers next weekend down in Florida.
yeah, we all know how that sand is. It's hard on everything.
Yeah,
It
so
is.
we thought we would try to help you out with a little bit of bike maintenance and send you home with some Seal Savers. So
Well, I
that's
appreciate
a
that,
thanks for
guys.
coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
We should make them do like something funny for those things. You know what I mean?
like a
he's
game.
he's gonna.
I didn't think of anything. If you can
Jeez.
think of anything before we're done, maybe. Jeez, Sydney.
Whatever you got.
Whatever you got.
So let's get into the GNCC this weekend. So first and foremost, guess who got name dropped on the Racer TV broadcast?
Everybody but us.
No.
I'm joking.
Mikey Waynes talked
shout out
about split line off road in the Racer TV broadcast. If you caught that like I did, proud moment. Yeah, it was awesome. So thank you, Mikey Waynes, for doing that. Did anybody see Between the Arrows yet? The new YouTube series that they're doing this year?
Yeah, I just watched it actually.
It's actually awesome.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. A little bit behind the scenes stuff. You get to hear from the guys and a little bit more than just the highlight reel that they did last year.
I like how they split that up, like between bikes and quad. Like they did one for bikes, one for quads. That was pretty neat.
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun. A few takeaways from this weekend before we get started into the overalls.
Yeah. What kind of takeaways? I mean,
like
it was
a sad weekend.
The
quad race was amazing.
The quad race was crazy. As I was watching, it was like top 5 was there, like all race. And then shout out to Stu Baylor, Thad Duvall. Was it Lane Michael, and was it Drape?
Johnny G.
G.
Shout out to you guys. Hopefully you guys heal up.
Johnny G and Thad, both pelvises injuries.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's got to be terrible. Stu with the broken neck and the wrist.
Like, I'll be back in a couple of weeks. I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's before he knew his neck.
Knowing Stu.
Immediately after saying that, they did another story right after that, and he goes, disregard the last one. I'm not going to be back for Florida.
Right.
Yeah, but you think he might be back for Georgia?
Oh man, bro.
I know there's only 1 week in between though.
He's pretty tough.
He's a pretty tough guy. I would say.
Jeffrey Hurling's rode MXGP.
That was with a broken collarbone.
I thought it was a broken shoulder blade.
No, collarbone. I
was
believe.
it a collarbone?
Collarbone.
I mean, that's still pretty
painful, but you don't even need a collarbone. It's a
really.
I mean, Stu's rode with like broken wrist, holes in his side.
Yeah.
I mean,
gator teeth in his arms.
Yeah, getting bit by gators. Like, I think he can handle it.
Handle a broken neck. Yeah, I love it. If he does, man, that's awesome.
David Taylor says, got a set of coil savers coming. Thanks to hearing about it from you guys.
Awesome.
David, we appreciate that.
Yes.
Appreciate that love and support, man. So let's get into the overalls throughout the entire GNCC weekend. So we're just going to run through the top 3 podiums of all the pro classes, and then we're going to get into talking about Devin's race. Yep, absolutely. So over in the ATV 4x4 class, Hayden Mickelson took first place. Now, Hayden was a ATV pro motocross rider, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I think that's right.
Yeah.
Like 2 years ago?
That's correct.
I thought he was. Yeah.
Phoenix.
For Phoenix. Yeah. So it's cool to see him over here. And I know he ran XC2 last year, I believe.
I think that might have been his brother.
Okay. Yeah, those Mickelson. So, so Landon Wolf finished second. I actually saw in between the lines that Hayden actually passed Landon on the last lap. Wow. So must have been a good race.
There's been a lot of that.
A lot of good race. And then Brandon Frazier, highly touted championship contender this year. He finished third. Wow. So I heard by looking at Instagram that Landon may not be running the full series this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So.
Apparently he is not running the full series, but after the race he just had, we'll see.
Yeah, right.
Maybe he'll change his mind. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, it's always hard. Like you can't.
He did have a kid.
So he did have a kid.
Maybe that's part of it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but
I mean,
He's too good and young to retire, though, right? Over in the women's side of the pro women, Hannah Hunter took first place. Jessica Eloff took second place, and Tracy Pickens took third.
Yeah.
Tracy Pickens is 46 years old,
right,
and is flying out there.
Yeah,
I don't want to race her.
No,
I don't.
So she's doing pretty good. And Jessica was actually like really far back when they came through on the first lap. And she came from a good ways back to get to where she was.
Wow.
So that was a pretty good ride.
Yeah.
And Hannah, I mean, she pretty much managed the race from the beginning.
Yeah.
And rode it in. So
yeah.
She's doing pretty good. Where Kate Osborne finished? She come in
fourth. Just off the podium.
Yep. Okay.
Yep. So over in the PMs on the XC2 row, or wait, hang on a second. Let me see here.
You skipped too far ahead.
No, here we are. Yeah, sorry about that. Jay Shadron finished first place. Our buddy down the road, Brandon Owens, finished second, and Wyatt Wilkins finished third. How about Jay just kind of like revamping his career? Last year, coming in actually ran in your class with you, and then coming and then. From what I heard this weekend, I didn't know this, but he had never ran an XC2 race until this weekend.
Yeah, he went right to XC1.
He went right to XC1. So
he did. He won the top amateur and then went straight to XC1 and skipped XC2. But I mean, his first year in XC1, he was putting in some solid rides. So yeah, he's definitely a beast.
Yeah, he's definitely a beast. And from what I heard, like it seemed like he really wasn't having fun in the XC1 class, and then he kind of left the entire sport for a year, I guess. And then, he's come back trying to put the fun back into it. And then next year going to go for an XC1 run, which obviously, I think he finished like 7th or 8th overall. Yeah. If you guys picked him on fantasy, you did a good job.
Right.
And then Brandon Owens, I talked to him actually after the race, and he was talking about how good he's feeling this year. I'm excited to see him back in XC2 because there was rumors that he might go to XC1 this year, but I feel like he's a real championship contender this year in XC2.
Yeah, I think that class is going to be pretty packed full of talent, and it's definitely going to go down to the wire, I believe. But not to go back to Jay, but did anybody see what his helmet is?
No, I didn't catch it.
It's painted like a Louis Vuitton bag.
Oh, really?
That's hilarious.
I don't know if he has a girlfriend or a wife, but she probably had her hands in that.
Yeah, may have.
Yeah, I think he actually got engaged right before the season started.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah. And then in the pro class, obviously Brycen Neal, Walker Fowler, and Jared McClure were your top three. We will be touching on that race here soon. Just a barn burner. I loved watching that on Racer TV.
Yeah.
If you've not got to watch it on Racer TV yet, because I know that
you were in
at least watch the last 2 laps.
So when I came home, I actually watched the Racer TV because I always try to study what those guys are doing so I can try to improve I'm doing.
Do you hate that they took away the GoPro cameras on the helmet?
I do, because I was watching like Brycen Neal videos and Adam McGill videos all the time. And I'd be like, man, that was a good line.
Yeah, I always watched them as well. And it's really cool to see, the best do it. And then like, it's kind of like, I always compared it to whenever you see like a baseball player at, in the batter circle getting ready to bat with the weights on.
Yeah.
And then you can step up to the plate without the weights. That's kind of like me stepping up to the plate without the speed.
Right. Yeah.
So over on the bikes, the Rachel Archer won the XC1 women's. Gosh, dog over there. XC1 women's. She won. Taylor Jones finished second, and Corey Steed finished third. So congratulations to those women. Rachel Archer, front of the show. We'll have to get her back on here soon and talk to her. She's a real championship contender this year. Went down to the wire last year for the championship, and she basically picked up where she left off.
Yeah.
And then the XC2, Mike Witkowski, we'll be talking to him here in just a little bit. He finished first. Lyndon Snodgrass finished second. And then Ryder Lafferty finished third. So congratulations to those guys. And then on the big bike class, Ben Kelly, Josh Strang, and Jordan Ashburn. Man, I tell you what, we'll talk about the bikes here in just a little bit, but I'm impressed with all 3 of those guys. Ben Kelly came out with a point to prove this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, Stu wasn't even close to him.
No, even if Stu would have caught up to second, because Stu was battling for second whenever he went down, I don't think Stu could have caught Ben. Ben was on a mission to prove a point this weekend, and he proved it. He jumped out front with Toth, quick and early in the lead, and never looked back. So that was a good race by him. How about Josh Strang?
Yeah, I think he's a guy that has a point to prove
Sneaky
from last
title
year.
contender.
Yeah.
No, I mean, not even really sneaky, because like everybody didn't really talk about him much going into the preseason because of last year.
Yeah.
But we talked to him on the show, and he's feeling good. He's training a lot of Australian talent this year. So I'm sure
young
those
talents,
youngsters are
keeping them young.
keeping them honest, right? And then Ashburn just being Ashburn, right?
Yep.
Ashburn just quietly riding it into a third place finish. I'm telling you now, I'm marking it right now. Ashburn's going to win a couple races this year.
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
I already called him for this weekend, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So
I'm going to say at the end of the season, Ashburn is there for the championship.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's tired of people like looking over him all the time because he's always on the podium. And then somehow when it comes down to the talk for the championship, they're like, oh, yeah, it's Ben Kelly, Stu Baylor, Josh Strang. Like
everybody
they just kind of like skip over him. So I think at the end of the season, he's got something to prove this year. And when we start getting to the more technical tracks, because he's a hard enduro guy also, he's going to start shining.
I agree. I agree. So let's talk about your race real quick. You ended up finishing 5th this weekend. Talk to us a little bit about, the big buck, the track itself, and how your race went.
Yeah. So off the start, I was like 10th into the woods. And but before we talk about the start, so my national bike was not finished for this race. So I ran my practice bike, which is pretty rough, and it had stock shocks on it. And we were just going for points and seat time because we needed it.
Right.
And we got down there and took off. I was 10th into the woods. And when we came around on the first lap, I'd managed to go from 10th to 1st. And I was like, oh, man, this is awesome. And then as the race went on, believe it or not, stock suspension, if they've not been serviced since 2006, you should probably get them serviced because if they got hot, they started getting pretty springy and spongy. And it just started beating me from there. But no, the track was nice. I liked the track. I think there was a good mix. There was, it seemed like half the track was more open and then half the track was a little tighter and a little more technical. There wasn't as many fields this year, which I'm okay with. I don't really like doing the wide open stuff, but I'll do it because I have to. But no, I think the track was good. I think they did a great job with it. I'm excited to see what they do when we go back. I know everybody is saying stuff about how like some people don't like going back twice. But I think they do a great job when we go back to these places twice, and we'll see where it goes from there. But as far as finishing out the race, I was first. I dropped back to 3rd, and then I got to a point where I was like, I'm not going to take myself out. I still got the rest of the season. We got good points right now. And I rode in for 5th place. So I was happy with that on the bike I was running. And, here in a couple of weeks, we'll be on the good stuff. So we'll see where that puts us.
So that goes.
How do you feel? Do you like Florida? Do you like the sand?
Yeah, I like running in the whoops really good.
Really?
So I think I should be okay there. I know Florida is pretty much like a 13-mile whoop section. So we'll see. But we're running custom axis suspension this year. So I think Micah's going to have us tuned in pretty good. And he's actually going to work with me a little bit right before the race, try to get everything tuned into where he thinks it needs to be. But we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
So
you're going to stay away from those big was it like, I don't want to say swamp, but where that guy took the 4x4?
Swamp. I would call it swamp.
Call swamp. I don't know.
I mean, I think he had the best strategy. If you just go fast enough, you don't have to worry about it, then you're fine. But
if you do it, make sure you do what he did and tell people to get your cameras out and ready for when I come through.
Yeah, so what I told people was, since I'm not that fast and I need to pick up the pace a little more, I said, anywhere that I need people, I said, go to the mud hole. And I want like 5 people through there, make sure I don't get stuck. I said, find all of the spots, stand right in the center, and as I come through, you can just step out of the way.
That's right.
So how's the training going? Are you able to train much? I know that you work and you got kids and family and you're traveling to these races. It's a lot, man, I'm sure.
It is a lot. We try to manage it as good as we can. We've been training, we've been doing stuff like that. Now that I have 2 bikes, which I've never had 2 bikes together at the same time, I'll actually be able to start practicing and getting some actual seat time at home instead of just going race to race. So I'm pretty excited about that. But it definitely keeps us busy when we don't have time to do anything in between. It's like one thing to the next thing to the next thing.
Yeah.
And, you just keep moving. And as you've done it long enough, you just get with the routine and you know what you need to do. So we'll see where it goes. It would be nice if we had a little more free time to do stuff, but that's not an option right now. So,
Yeah.
so we'll make it work.
And I'm sure like the rough Florida stuff, you got to have fitness for that.
Yeah.
Those whoop sections, they take a beating on you, I'm sure. So, if that's where you're strong, I'm sure that's why you love the sand.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, really, I just like riding my four-wheelers. So when it comes to training and stuff like that, I do it. But at the end of the day, as long as I'm having fun, that's all that matters. But, the main goal is to get to a point where we can start moving forward.
Yeah.
So we'll probably run Junior A this year. And then, we kind of got a few-year plan on where we want to be in a few years. We'll run Junior A, finish out the year this season, and try to win the championship there. And see where it goes. It's going to be a tough one, though, because there's a lot of fast guys in that class.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not going to be easy, but we're going to try to do it. And then I would say next year we'll go XC2. And then depending on where we're at in that class, maybe give it a run in XC1.
Yeah.
Whether I'm ready or not.
Right. Hey,
Might as well,
you
right?
only live once, man.
Hey, Adam Kane wants to know if you're still running the LTR, which, yes, you are still running the LTR this weekend. Is that your race bike as well?
So I am running LTR still. My practice bike is an LTR. My race bike is an LTR at the moment. We do possibly have some things in the works that maybe you'll see me on something different eventually.
Yeah.
But we don't want to make that switch until we know we're 100% ready to do something. I do have some Yamahas that I have access to ride them and make adjustments to them and try them out. I know that's where everybody's pushing me to go. Yamaha's the only people left making stuff. So in the future, we'll probably have to switch to them. But at this point, we're not ready to do it, and I don't want to switch without making sure that I know I can run the speed that I need to on a Yamaha.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool.
That's good.
Hey, Brandon,
Yeah.
before we get excited about getting our guest on and get through that, we don't want to forget. You want to give away that Guts Racing seat cover?
I guess so.
All right, let's give away
All
the
right,
Guts
Devin,
Racing.
I got a list here.
All right, guys, here it goes.
You got to pick 1 through 9, and whoever you pick
So,
is going to get a gut seat cover.
What happened is I think 4 people picked the right second place finisher of the ATVs, and 5 people picked something like that.
Only 2 people picked string,
Okay, only 2
and
people.
everybody else picked Fowler.
Okay. So nobody picked both. If somebody would have picked both, it'd have been that winner.
Right.
But since nobody picked both, we got to do a drawing. So Devin, 1 through 9.
All right, so Brycen Neal's coming on to the show, so it seems fitting that we do something that involves his numbers. So let's go with 2.
Number 2 is, do we have a drum roll? No, I don't think we do. There we go. It is Cameron _sports 87.
Cameron, make sure you message us on Instagram or Facebook and let us know that you won, and give us your address and actually give us your information, and we'll get Guts a hold of you, and you got a seat cover, man. It's awesome. That's an awesome prize for sure. So you guys ready to get Brycen Neal on the line?
Yeah, let's get him on.
Let's get him on.
Why
Talk
not?
about, man, he's got a lot to talk about, I'm sure.
He does. Just curious to see what he has to say. How was the track? Did it break down a lot?
It didn't really break down that much. Once we got to a certain point, it pretty much stayed the same, but it got rutted, it got roots and stuff. Most of the stuff that you got into was like, you get bump steer a lot because there would just be like a little root sticking out of the ground or something and just yank your hands.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I was always curious how that broke down.
Yeah, but most of it held up really nice. It was pretty hard. It's been pretty dry down there, so it wasn't bad.
Brycen.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
How's it going, man? Thanks for coming on the show, buddy. Congratulations.
Thanks for having me again, guys. It's been far too long since we talked, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. I don't know if you know, we have Devin Masters in studio with us, so he's going to help us talk to you and break this awesome comeback story down a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Devin? How you doing, man?
Not too bad. How are you doing?
Just good, man. Just finished up with some dinner and sitting here talking to you guys now. So pretty nice evening.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, man,
Awesome.
how was the 4-for-4? That's what first question I want to know.
Well, I got sad news, guys. I cheated on Wendy's and I went out with Chick-fil-A.
Oh, man.
All right.
Beef chicken, a deluxe chicken sandwich, a large fry, the rest of my girlfriend's French fries, and then a payday out of my dad's pocket he had. Oh, I was starving.
No, I'm sure, man.
Figure.
Yeah, congratulations, dude. Dude, super pumped for you. Such a comeback story. I mean, it's been 8 months since you were on the bike when we last saw you at the John Penton when you had the accident. And it was a quiet 8 months from you. Every once in a while, we kind of get an update on Instagram to see how you were doing with the recovery, and then the process of getting yourself back into shape, getting the knee in shape. And man, it's good to see you back, sporting the beard. Take us through a little bit of the whole process from the John Penton until now.
Yeah, I know. Some people said I was a little quiet. My friend Josh Merritt, he said, "What's up, B. Neal, the ghost?" And I was like, "Whoa." I ain't that quiet now, but I guess I was a little bit too quiet, and it wasn't on purpose by no means. I just stick to myself, do what I can, and I'm kind of went through a little hiatus from social media and was just enjoying like life with family, hanging out summertime and doing my stretches, my workouts, and my girlfriend and me, we's putting in a place we're living in now, and all that work, and just soaking up a lot of that stuff, because I knew that once I got back to the season, looking around, all that stuff goes away because there's no time for it. And right after I got hurt, I got surgery a week later, which is great, because looking back now, I guess when I got hurt, it technically was a really good time to get hurt, because I had the whole rest of the year to recover. Some people are put into a situation where they get hurt in October or, mid-season, and they got a date to get back. They got 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, it gets tight on them. And it was so nice in a way to go through this whole process and not be rushed. And I was fortunate enough to, meet Ben Greenwood from Australia, and Miles Brazil. Stu Baylor put me in connection with them. Ben is who trained and rehabbed and coached Stu through his entire total knee replacement he had during the COVID lockdown in 2020. Mm-hmm. And then everyone knows Stu's story, how he came out the last 5 rounds and he was just a man on a mission, just killed it. And man, I was so fortunate to meet Ben, because, if I would have went the hospital route and just did, their physical therapy, not saying anything bad, but the information and the expertise and advancement just wasn't there. Right. It's kind of like the doctor told me he didn't want me doing any squats whatsoever, even with my body weight, until, 3 months after surgery. Yeah, at least. And Ben had me 6 weeks after surgery doing body weight box squats. It's just there's such a different level of information and advancement on the workouts. And if I would have never met Ben and then later Miles in November, then there's no shot I would have been able to get back and be this strong and be able to do this good this early on. So I'm just really thankful, to be honest.
Yeah, dude, talking about workouts, a couple of those stories that you put in, those legs looking good, man. This looking good.
I ain't gonna lie, guys. I tried to put on size. Whenever I got hurt, I was skin and bones. I was probably the skinniest I ever was since I was like 16 years old. I was like 185, and I just felt like people around me, my girlfriend, my mom, family and people, they was all making comments like, "Man, B. Neal, like, you need to eat." I was like, I am eating, but I was getting skinny. So I tried like hell to put on size and get my strength back, and I got all the way up to 210. So I went from basically 185, 190 was like my fluctuating weight, and I ate and trained, and it was a long time from last May till now, and I got up to almost 210. Was it bulky? Yeah, but I was able to get back a lot of my strength and get back a lot of size, and then I was cutting down, all January and February trying to lose the weight, and it definitely, I think it helped me for sure. you know, when I first got back riding, there was some arm pump and there was some tightness from, you know, getting that strength back. But right now where I sit now, I feel really good, feel healthy, eating full meals. I'm happy. So
Eating some baconators, right?
yeah. Oh man, bacon. That was my first true love out of high school.
Yeah, I remember you saying
every day out of high school
that.
and go straight to Wendy's as soon as I got out of school, get me a baconator, and then I'd go for a run or do whatever the hell I did when I was 16. So.
So carrying the more muscle and more weight on the bike right now, does it make you feel different riding? Do you feel like you're able to manipulate the bike more, or how does that differ from last year's where you said you were the skinniest you've ever been?
Yeah, when I was the skinniest I ever was, you know, my speed, like definitely I was ripping and my speed was there, but I just felt like I was just weak in general. I just felt like, you know, push-ups, pull-ups, I mean, anything like that, just life in general. I just felt like I just was too, for my height and my size, I just felt like I was just too skinny. And it wasn't more or less for a racing standpoint. I was trying to get my strength back for. It was more just for, you know, a peace of mind, you know, because I'd never gotten down that low. And I was just like, man, let me try the opposite end of the spectrum. Let's try to get the weight up and see how we feel. And I guess I took a gamble looking back on it now, but you know, I feel good and I just feel healthy. You know, that's more. It's more about just me feeling healthy, not so much, you know, advantage or disadvantage on the bike.
Right. I mean, sometimes some people do better. Like Stu. I mean, everybody's like, man, Stu doesn't look like he's in shape, but he hauls butt out there on that bike, and you know he's a big guy. So, I mean, some people carry weight a little bit better than others.
Yep.
I think the looks aren't really what it's about. We're trying to be performance athletes, not, you know, sculptors. So.
Right.
Yeah, we're all here to do a job.
That's right.
When Brycen showed up to round one, I'm sure he just looked with the beard and the bulkiness, just looked like he just went into a cave for 8 months with like rocks and just did deadlifts and
what was that comedian's name that showed up on GNCC? What's his name?
Oh, Ginger Billy.
Ginger Billy.
He was actually there over the weekend.
Oh, was he?
Billy.
That's awesome.
I tell you what, if you ask a couple of people, they probably would agree with that I was looking like a caveman or something. Especially Ken Hill. Ken did not like the beard at all. Ken told me how he thought about it, and I respect Ken. He did not vibe with the beard.
As you can see, 2 of the 3 of us here are beard men.
Yeah, I keep a little bit, but I don't run it that much.
Brycen, I say keep the beard. Keep the beard.
Definitely, for sure, keep the beard.
It all started kind of like as a joke with my friend Pat. You know, he was here at the Burr Oak GNCC. He came to my house and spent the night before, and you know, we was just hanging out in the shop and he's talking, and he's like, man, I was like, Pat, you've always had that beard. I've never seen you without it. And he's like, I've never seen you with one. I was like, well, I tell you what. I said, how about I grow it? I said, and we'll keep it. If I can get mine as big as yours, I said, we'll keep it until we win a race back. And that was kind of like a little bet between us. You know, Pat, he builds my engines and he's my best friend. And it just kind of started out as a joke. And I don't know. Now it's 50-50. You know, I ain't gonna lie to you guys. Like Ken Hill and my mom, and there's a whole slew of other people who've made their comments they don't like it. And there's other people like you guys who appreciate the beard. So I'm torn.
Well, I mean, I think you need to treat it like No Shave November. You don't shave that thing until you lose again. I mean, that's the way I look at it.
I say keep it all season.
Now.
I say keep it all season.
He already said no shaving until he wins, but he made short work of that one. So.
Right. So do you want to talk to us a little bit about how you got back with your old team, kinda, and all that, how that all came about?
Yeah, well, it was really easy. You know, Chris Landers and myself, my dad, Drew Landers, and Chase, we all go way back. You know, we've known each other and hung out since 2015. And Drew and me, we started out, we lived down at the Coastal Racing House in 2016, 17, and it was 2 or 3 years in a row that we lived down there all winter and stayed together. And we just became great friends. You know, Chris was always popping in and out, coming to see us when he could. And, you know, we always was friends. And then in 2019, Chris started his Land Mills XC team. And he asked me to, you know, be a part of it. Drew was racing XC2 at the time, and I was in XC1. And, you know, Chris put together a great deal. You know, it was a great looking setup with pits, with the tents, with the trash cans, the boxes, the posters. I mean, he had people taking photos. He did a really nice job. And then the next year, you know, Drew and them, they went through changes. They met Mark Notman, and he started mechanicking for him. And then I went another route. So we kind of grew apart right there, but we always was still friends. And then Chris went this whole other chapter where, you know, he got into becoming a part of the races and, you know, having a dirt bike team and being a force, you know, and stacking, you know, a pretty heavy-handed dirt bike team, in my opinion. I mean, they got top guys and I think all kinds of A divisions. They got this year, they got Jordan Ashburn, got XC2 Jack Edmondson, they got XC3, they got Chase in the A class. I mean, they got a youth ride. I mean, they got some really good riders. And Chris has just super impressed me. You know, he's put together a wonderful deal. You know, that guy, he's so creative and he's so imaginative, and he puts his own special look on things. And he's really hard working. And man, I'm just over the moon. You know, he called me, I think late September, early October, and we pretty well already knew that we was going to do this together this year. But we waited until, you know, about December or so to announce it. But it was just super easy. You know, we're all great friends. We all get along. We all kind of think alike and kind of run our programs the same way. And, you know, seeing that, you know, our very first race together, we was able to go out and get a win. And then on the dirt bike side, they had a very strong day as well. It was just a overall great performance for the Magna One Motorsports team. So I'm pumped to be a part of it. And Chris has really got something special going on.
So, quick question, Brycen. I'm an ATV guy just like you, but do you think it made it easier for him to do the ATV stuff with you this year by taking the time to build the dirt bike side of the team?
Yes, I would say so. But Chris and me, you know, we have the main core sponsors that they like. You know, we have Moose and Alpine Star, Parts Unlimited. You know, we ran a lot of the same core ingredients, but it was easy for us to, you know, coincide together because, you know, their dirt bike sponsors, a lot of them like A-Arms and shock companies and things like that, they don't carry over. Mm-hmm. So, you know, everything that I had in place, that the people that I use, the you know, core ingredients to my program, the things, the people that I've always used and worked with, you know, nothing had to change because the dirt bikes, the sponsors, they didn't carry over. And I was able to keep all my same, you know, sponsors. And that made it so easy, you know what I mean? So it's kind of a little bit of a hybrid where the main, you know, top 5 sponsors are the same, and then I'm able to have my own pool of their sponsors and kind of coexist with the team. And it's been a really easy mesh, to be honest.
Speaking of sponsors, I mean, we got someone in similar to Sunstar now. Sunstar is one of our sponsors.
Common sponsor.
That's right.
Are you guys sponsored by Sunstar?
Yes, we are.
The show is. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah,
Doug and Justin and them, they're so great.
They are.
Doug's awesome. Doug's actually watching right now. Yeah.
Doug is. What's up, Doug? I'm waiting on Doug to make it out to our race this year so I can cut it up and hang out with him at the race, man.
Nice.
So,
yeah.
Doug, what's up, man?
We actually, and Brycen, I don't know if you've noticed this on Instagram or not yet, but Brandon and I started a fantasy game for GNCC, and we gave a Sunstar chain and sprocket kit away for the winner this weekend. So
that's cool.
yeah. So it was pretty cool. You actually scored a lot of points for everybody that picked you.
I saw the fantasy points, but I didn't. To be honest, I didn't understand how the scores, like how the scoring checked out and all that. But I saw, the results and all that. But, I'm missing the boat on how the point system works.
So basically, everybody's given a handicap based,
like golf,
kind of like golf, based on where they are in the top 20, and that makes it more enticing to pick guys in the lower part of the top 20 currently because they have more of a chance of scoring more points. And because you were in 10th in the top 20.
Mm-hmm.
Now we didn't give you a true handicap. We kind of bumped your handicap down a little bit because we knew a 10th wouldn't be around where you finished, but so that's kind of how that works. So it kind of entices people to pick more kind of down towards the lower end of the top 20.
I'm worth more points than you, by the way. You may be faster, but I got you on the fantasy point.
Oh man, that's cool. Because Supercross fantasy and football and all that, it's so addicting. It's so much fun. So I'm glad you guys are able to make it, for GNCC, make something like that. That's cool. Especially giving away free Sunstar chain sprockets. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. It's not going to be every weekend with the free Star chain sprockets, but for the inaugural game, we thought that we would throw in a pretty awesome prize there.
Right.
So, Brycen, why don't you take us through the actual race weekend? Going into the weekend, we watched the Racer TV broadcast, and Mikey Waynes was talking about how you said that you were not really looking to come out and swing for a win, looking for just a solid finish. So talk to us a little bit about how the track developed, how maybe you were feeling the bike that led you to go ahead and push for the win.
Yeah. I mean, it was a long road, from the last weekend of May, all the way until, when I raced, it was 8.5 months. And, the month of July, like, June to July, halfway through July, which is about 6 weeks, I wasn't walking whatsoever. I couldn't bear no weight. I could just do crutches. And, man, that took forever. I was so glad I got off crutches. But, it was 6 weeks of walking. And then July and August, I was starting to do, small strength workouts and a lot of stretching. Oh my goodness. The hours that I spent stretching, they probably added up to a week of my life. How much time I spent stretching. But, what I'm getting at is there's so much time in build up, and I started riding in December. That was about the second week of December is when I first started riding. So 6 months post surgery. And then, I rode the last 2 weeks of December, and then into the, January flew by quick. And then we're racing, 3 weeks into February. So it's really not a lot of prep time. And I knew from my fitness, I knew from my fitness side that I knew I was in shape. I really did. I knew I was in great shape. And, I think I almost was in better shape this year than I was last year leading up to the first race. But the seat time is what always concerned me because, I hadn't rode with nobody fast. I hadn't raced. I hadn't, competed whatsoever at all. And, I was riding strong. I was riding good, but I just, after all that time, you just really don't know where you stacked up in a way. There's a lot of buildup. And I came into the weekend and I was like, I'm cool with getting a top 3. You know what I mean? Top 3, no matter what. That was my goal. And I just wanted to have a great first race back. I just want to get out there, basically more or less just take a bite and see where I stacked up. And I got into the race. I got about a mid-pack start, and I got pinched. I got a good jump off the line, but I got pinched, and I got a mid-pack start, and I just kind of clawed my way through the pack, person by person, and I saw Walker up the trail. I was about 5th place, and we was all kind of, freight training, and then headed into the second lap. Galata and Cole both made mistakes. And when they made mistakes, they both clipped trees. And when they did that, Walker and Jared got completely out of sight where you couldn't see them. And I got into third, and I was able to bridge the gap by the second lap. So at that point, I had a deep breath. I was like, okay, your speed's there, you're good. As long as you get with these guys, like, you're in this race for the long haul. And then the last 2 laps, man, I was feeling so good, feeling the flow, hit my marks. And, by the time I pitted, I knew I could win the race. From the way the race was unfolding, I was in it, and my fitness, I knew I had a chance, to definitely win the race. And but the track was so tough for passing. My goodness, it was really tough to pass. And the last lap, Jared was leading, Walker second, me third. And Jared, he got messed up with a lapper, and Walker got around him, and Walker actually two-wheeled it and went over, on his side, tipped over. But I was so close to Jared. I had a split-second opportunity where if I could have jumped out of the rut, not been so close to Jared, I could have got them both. But it didn't work out. I was in third. I passed Jared on a hill climb. He went left behind a lapper. I went right, got by him. And then on the last lap, I was kind of settling in. I was thinking in my head, I really don't have anywhere in my pocket that I don't have a line that I know that Walker doesn't know. Because, I've been following the 2 previous laps, every line that I was trying to use everything I had on him, the 2 previous laps. And there's a line that we've both been taking, and he took it as well. And instead of staying in it, he jumped back to the left, and the lines ran parallel and to each other. And he jumped back left in the main line. And I just powered on through. I pulled up to about his surf bars, and it's almost like a game of chicken. Like, one of us had to back off. One of us, the trail was meeting, coming to a point, and one of us was going to have to back off. And it was getting down to the split second where I was about to back off, and it was just, by the hair that he did it first. And I was able to squeak by, had about a mile and a half, and, we held it all the way to the end. So it was a great race. It was a lot of good racing. Jared was riding good, tough. The track was really tough for passing, but, just to be able to, after all that time off, and be able to come back out and get a win at the first one back, it was definitely something special, man. It meant the world to me, and it was great. Yeah. It was a great weekend.
Hey, sometimes all it takes is a little bit of luck, and things going your way, and stars align, and you get what you need. So that's awesome. I think I even recall a Racer TV video where Walker said the same thing on luck. He was like, I got lucky. He said, but hopefully I get lucky a few more times, and that's all it takes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I think that day he was talking about, I think, me breaking down. And,
he was.
He won, and he got the points lead. He got a big gap that day, so that definitely worked in his favor. But he's right, though. Sometimes all you do need is a little bit of luck. But in my case, I don't want good luck, and I don't want bad luck. I just want no luck at all. I just want the chips to fall where they fall.
Right. So coming into those last couple corners, I know you kind of went wide on that last corner. Did you realize that you had a little bit of a gap on Fowler, or did you just have a little mishap and go a little too wide?
Well, that's one of the things I was talking about, on my post. I made some silly mistakes of not racing for so long. I'm realizing now that, if that was the last race of the year for the championship, we'd come into the corners, and he could have cleaned my clock and spun me out, fishtailed me, and won the race.
Right.
And he wouldn't have been as nice.
Right.
So, I made some little silly mistakes out there on Saturday, and that's what's so exciting is that, I know that Saturday I wasn't at my best. And going forward, each race and each week, I'm going to continue to improve and get stronger and stronger. And I'm so excited for that. So, there's some silly mistakes, but I should have held the inside right there a little bit better. I should have did a better job. So you're right.
Yeah, I was just curious because I was watching on Racer TV, and I was like, if he was just a hair closer, that might have been a little bit more interesting than anybody wanted it to be.
Yeah, speaking of interesting, though, that whole race,
Yeah.
man, I tell you what, that may have been one of the all-times because at one point in time, it was just like a freight train of 5 riders. It seemed like it was you, Bryson, Walker, Jared, and then Devin Feehan as well, all within one screenshot. Like, I'm standing there in the living room, like standing up like 6 inches away from the TV, just like yelling at the TV. I was like, this is insane. Did it feel good just to be in a battle like that, or was that kind of nerve-wracking?
You know, I didn't know who was behind me. I couldn't tell if it was, I knew it was a blue Yamaha. I didn't know if it was Devin or Hunter, but it felt, it felt good just to be, there's a moment in the middle of it that, I was just kind of like happy, like, man, like it feels good to be back in this mix.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It had been so long. I was just like, it was a split second where I kind of thought to myself, man, I appreciated this moment. Like, damn, it feels good to be back in the mix racing, banging bars.
Yeah.
So, man, we had one good battle, and I'm glad everyone enjoyed it because it was a great day, perfect weather. The track was just absolutely perfect, and it just don't get no better than that weather, that type of track, that type of, day to play out that way for everyone watching the race. So it's definitely good all the way around.
Yeah, it was a great race. Great way to start a season as well. We have actually a question here for you on our live feed. Bradley Smith wants to know, what does Bryson's heart rate run, and does he train the same way that he did before?
Well, I used to wear my heart rate monitor back in 2017, but I just stopped wearing during the races. I really didn't have no rhyme or reason. It's kind of more like one time I broke my watch, and it really and if you have a Garmin watch, if you have a 4runner 945 or 920 XT or anything like that, like they're a little pricey.
They're a little pricey.
And, the GNCC, there's situations where you just on the practice track, if there's a branch hanging or there's not other people kicking up rocks at you and things like that. So it's a lot easier to wear practicing, and then racing, I got a little tight. I was like, I don't really need. I'm advanced enough. I'm not getting tired, and I know what my body needs to do. So I kind of stopped wearing it the last 2 or 3 years during a race.
You're gonna have to get one of those watch sponsors, man. I'll have to hook you up somehow.
What is that?
I said you're gonna have to get like a watch sponsor, like Polar's gonna have to hook you up or something.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be nice to have a Polar or Garmin because I love the fitness side of that.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Garmin a lot. I had Polar when I first started, but Garmin now is flat out my favorite. I don't know why. I got the 945 4runner, and I really, really like it a lot. It's got a lot of bells and whistles, and it's nice, but yeah.
You still running that neon green shirt, all your fan shirts, or you guys got new fan shirts out there?
Well, this year we ordered we got gray shirts, and we actually got them for sale because last year everyone was just like, hey, I want a shirt, and I never came through. I never was able to, the races in between, the work of getting the bikes ready to go and all that. I was just never able to do it. Well, this year before the season started, I made sure I got 200 shirts ordered. So I got a lot of Neal 241, same design as last year's shirts, but just gray with red,
Gotcha.
Match Magnum on Motorsports. So if anyone's listening, I'll have them at the races, and if you want one, hit me up on Facebook or Instagram, and we'll see if we can, save them and bring them to the races for you.
There you go.
Absolutely. Hey, Brycen, we promise we won't keep you on too long tonight. And we appreciate you coming on and breaking this weekend's race down with us. Man, good luck going into Florida, and then the soon fast after that, Georgia round. So we're excited, man. If round one is any indication of what this season's going to be like, it's going to be a wild ride this year.
Strap in and grab your popcorn.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it, guys. And again, thanks for having me on. It's been so long since we talked last. And I know you invited me on, I think it was a month or two back, but I'm the type of guy that like, I had nothing to talk about at that point. I don't like to talk about what I'm going to do. I like to like go get some results and then come back and talk about what I did, you know what I mean? And what happened and then break it down. So, I appreciate you guys waiting on me and then still having me on. And we're looking forward to Florida and Georgia, man. We really like both those tracks. Florida, I love the sand, and Georgia, I always ride good there. So, we're looking forward to the trip south and, hopefully have a couple more, wins and, come back home and get back to work.
Absolutely,
good,
man. Yeah, you definitely provided us something to talk about this weekend, and I'm sure this year is going to be a good year for just GNCC ATV racing in general. Brycen, before we let you go, wanted to let you know that Doug Kirk said he's going to be in Ohio and in the Indiana round, so you can find him there.
My guy, good, Doug. I can't wait to talk to you, man. Cut it up and. See you, bro. So good deal.
Yeah. So, hey, Brycen, thanks for coming on, man. And we'll talk to you. We'll talk to you down the road, man.
All right, man. You guys take care, and we'll talk to you here soon in another month or two, and we'll get back at it.
Absolutely, man. Have a good one.
Man. Have a good one.
All right. See you guys.
See you.
That was awesome.
That was awesome. That was a great interview. Brycen, man, tell you what, when I was watching that Racer TV broadcast, just in true Brycen fashion, like he's just looking for lines all over the place in those open field sections.
That dude's crazy. Like his raw speed is definitely way faster than everybody else, and he knows it.
Yeah,
is the thing. But like even talking to him in this interview, he's probably the most level-headed person on the front row, and is probably the fastest as far as sprint speed.
Mm-hmm.
If he can get everything to go together, I think he can definitely win the championship. I even called it coming into the first round after being off for 8.5 months. I was like, everybody's not talking about Brycen, but I think he's going to win this one.
Yeah. The biggest thing is his speed lets him override the bike sometimes. And I think that's what's hurt him in the past just a little bit with, just little things that's making the bike last the whole race. And
what I think one of his biggest strengths is just the pure racecraft. And when, he has not always had the best starts of the races. He's always seems like he has that mid pack towards the back of the pack. And I would have to say, man, that's got a lot of experience in just pure racecraft and finding the ways around all these riders, using unique lines, creating lines where it may not seem to be there's a line, and getting it done. And I tell you what, I'm excited to see him back this year and really put a solid effort into a championship run. Obviously Walker's the favorite until Walker's not the favorite.
Right.
But Brycen's right there nipping at the heels, and it's going to be a good year. It's going to be a good year.
There is 10 guys right now on the front line that could win.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I looked at the lap times, and the lap times are so close that it's not even funny.
Yeah.
But I think the one guy that everybody has kind of overlooked really bad is Devin Feehan.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the lap times, he actually had the fastest lap.
Yeah, Devin, man, I tell you what, ever since the summer break last year, Devin has just been putting on a clinic, and it's just exciting. It's so exciting to see just another guy in there and ready to do battle for overalls, and couldn't be more happy to see just a really, really good battle.
John Glada too, man.
John Glada, he's got the speed as well. Did anybody see? I knew you were going to say it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think there was nobody launching the hill climb like he was. I don't know what they got in that bike or why, like how his suspension is set up, but whatever it is, I need to figure it out, because he can pretty much do whatever he wants, whenever he wants with that bike. And it just makes the crowd go crazy most of the time.
Yeah, it was awesome. During the Racer TV broadcast, the angle was down at the bottom of the hill, and you couldn't tell who it was. And you're like, who was that launching the hill? And then the video came out, and I wish if I knew how to do it, I'd put it up on here right now so you guys could see it, because that was awesome. It was really
go to his Instagram.
Go to John Glada's Instagram and watch that for sure.
It's actually on like 10 Instagrams right now, because they're just sharing it across all the stories and everything. It's wild. But no, you watch the video from the bottom of the hill, and even from the bottom of the hill, it was like, man, he is up there right now.
Yeah.
And then you see the guys coming up the hill behind him who are exceptionally fast also. and he's just like, he could have jumped over that.
No, it was wild. Doing a little bar twist in the air to make it look that much better. It was cool to see. And moving on to Sunday, I tell you what a good race that was. It was unfortunate that we had the injuries that we had. It really put a damper for the second year in a row on the whole season. Not really the whole season, but just the bikes in general. You hate to see anybody get hurt. But when it's like 4 of your top riders in the entire class, in the entire, industry, it just really kind of takes the wind out of you and really reminds you how brutal this sport is.
Well, I just want to point out that Stu is definitely not out of this championship yet, because if he can make it back with, even 3 races that he either has to miss or has like a bad result, he could still potentially win, because last year he missed and then he broke down, and it still came down to the last race. So
I mean, it's very possible. I mean, you never count out Stu Baylor, that's for sure. I mean, the dude finished a race with
a broken neck,
broken neck and a wrist. I mean, come on, man. That's awesome.
Unbelievable.
And then recorded everything on the way to the hospital.
Right?
Yeah.
All the other guys got hurt, and we didn't see anything until like
which
the next
would
day.
be me. You wouldn't see me for a year. I might just go hide in my bedroom. But it was funny because we were watching Pulp this week, and Chris Kiefer actually was talking about how they were like, "Oh, he won't be back. He won't be back." After they talked about what happened to Stu, and I was like, "You guys might not know Stu as well as we do. If that guy gets the doctor to even think about it, he's going to be on the bike."
He'll probably just sign some like AMA papers or whatever, like legal documents, and like, "Oh, leaving." Whatever.
But no, seriously, hopefully all of those guys have a quick recovery. That sucks for Thad. I mean, he's had bad luck for the past 3 years.
And it's been always right at the beginning of the season too.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not like he doesn't have the speed to run there. He's proven that he can run there. It sucks to see that. And then you got Johnny. I mean, he could run XC1 right now if he really wanted to, speed wise. So hopefully he makes a quick recovery and gets back to it. But it's amazing to see how tough these guys are, because Stu, for instance, finished the race. Thad and Johnny had some pretty serious injuries. They still made
Johnny
sure
got flat out.
So, but they still made sure that they got like stuff out to the fans saying, "Hey, we're good. We're in good spirits. We're coming back. Like, don't count us out."
So thoughts and prayers out to the 4 of you guys. We look forward to seeing you guys being able to come back and just be a part of the sport and
give us something to talk
about. Yeah. So heal up, guys. And
we have a next guest, right?
We have our next guest, Mike Witkowski. He's coming on, actually finished first in the XC2 bike race. So it's going to be good to talk to him. Let me go ahead and get him on the line.
You haven't done that yet? What are you doing over there?
Running this show. Somebody's got to do
I will say Lane is apparently racing at the Sprint Enduro.
Okay, cool.
So hopefully he'll be back at the next national ready to go. I don't know if he's going to be able to like limp through the Sprint Enduro, because you get a little bit of a break
in between,
and then maybe take off 1 or 2 nationals, depending on what that injury looks like. But I was still impressed that he was saying that he was going to be back at the Sprint Enduros. But he is from West Virginia. So.
He's a tough boy.
Yeah,
tough guy. You're good. I know you're slacking over there, I tell you. But that has to be a huge blow for the AM. Was it AM Oil or AM Yamaha? AM Pro. There we go. AM Pro Yamaha team. They had both of their top riders go down in the first race. So
so the 2 top guys go out, but I mean, Mike, he came through on his class and got the win for him. So they had a little bit of up and down in the same weekend. But
they're probably saying, "Dude, you got to go XC1 next week. What are you doing?" They're making the call, calling the pitch hitter up.
Said, "Sorry about your XC2 championship hopes."
Right.
But,
we had a little technical difficulty going on over here. I thought I had his number saved, and then it was some weird Instagram number. Mike, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. How are you?
Hey, sorry
Mike?
about that. I thought I had your number, and then because I had your name in my contacts, and then when it popped up, it was some weird Instagram number. So,
No worries. No worries.
how's it going, man? Congratulations on the big win, round one, big buck winner. Mike Witkowski is on the line with us, man. Congratulations on getting it done, round one. It's got to feel good to get the kind of the monkey off your back, entering into the season with a win.
Yeah, no, it's been a long little winter here, and just put a lot of work in, and this race really meant a lot to me just to get back to a win. Really, it's been a long road, so that's it. We're starting the season on the right foot for sure.
So have you got the call up yet? I was just joking around with everybody. I was like, they're going to have to call them up to XC1 because both guys are out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's crazy how many people got hurt, and top guys for one. But I know there's some talks about replacement guys for at least. I'm not sure if Lane's racing yet, but I know Stu's out for a bit.
Yeah.
So a replacement for him at least for a couple of rounds, But either way, maybe some more attention on myself would be nice.
Yeah, right.
So I'll take it.
Yeah, we were just talking about how kind of brutal this weekend was on the industry with just some gnarly injuries. Did the track on Sunday develop in a weird way where it was kind of catching people off guard, or did you see any kind of instances where something like that could have caused stuff to happen?
Yeah, it definitely got way rougher toward the end of the race. I think where guys were crashing out and stuff. I guess Johnny in my class, he crashed end of first lap, I want to say, but there was a bunch of weird edges, and like it was kind of like dry, and then you'd hit a wet spot. It was ruddy, so I think a lot of guys were just struggling with finding grip, and then get all out of whack, and then bike would hook up, and I think just launch him into a tree. Except for Stu, I think he hit that stump. But as far as like the track went, it was gnarly for sure. But I think you just had to almost back it down, like let's say 10%, and just be smart about your line choices and stuff. I heard from some guys like Ben's lines were really dang good, and I think that's probably why he was just so consistent all day, and just he's a smooth rider in general. So I think it helped to just smoothen out that race and just kind of ride your own kind of pace.
So I got a question here, because there's a little bit of controversy going on why all of the injuries were happening, I guess, on Sunday. There was a bunch of people going on social media, and you know how that is. People always talking about different things. But they seem to think that there's some correlation between the four-wheeler race on Saturday and the dirt bike race on Sunday that makes it more dangerous for you guys. But that I'm an ATV guy, but I'm interested to see the dirt bike side point of view.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like our race, I heard a lot of people say, just through the grapevine, I wasn't seeing much on media side, but they were saying like our tracks are too fast. But honestly, if they would slow them down, that would just make it 10 times rougher. Like the tight stuff we run is like insane. So I don't think really that's the case. I mean, it's just you're gonna have complainers all the time. Obviously, those guys are probably the ones that didn't do so hot. So they're like, oh, like we need to slow the tracks down, this and that. But I'm not really sure. Like it was rough for sure, but it's definitely not abnormal. I know last year was on the softer side at Big Buck, and it was more ruddy. But like, I mean, there's a bunch of dang bumps. Like if you're gonna race for the 2 hours for the pro ATVs, or you're gonna race 3 hours on Sunday, you gotta be fit enough and have your bike set up dialed in. So I don't know. I think a lot of guys probably were honestly on the stiffer side, I want to say. I found myself, not on purpose, but I found myself on the softer side, which I think helped a lot. And those guys might have just been, getting beat up a lot.
So, I mean, it seems like you're having a great year. I mean, speaking of speed, I mean, it looks like you're doing really well in the full fast sprint, or the US sprint Enduro on that too. So do you think maybe running those and then hitting that faster track has kind of helped you out a little bit, or?
Yeah. So like pretty much going into this year, my goal was to basically just step out of my comfort zone and do like, I did the first national enduro and then I did the first US sprint enduro. But the reason I did the US sprint enduro was to just put my name in the hat for the junior trophy team for ISD this year. I would like to go over there.
Yeah.
But honestly, yeah, I really struggle at sprint stuff. So I kind of went there before GNCC just to get a tune up and basically just get out of my comfort zone and try and gain some speed if I can.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed to help. Like, I mean, I pretty much got smoked at the sprint enduro, but I wasn't bummed about it. I knew a lot of people wrote me off, but went to the GNCC and I was just fine. So
yeah.
I think it did help a lot, honestly.
I really enjoy the sprint enduro because you kind of like as a race, like just as an amateur racer, just you go out and have fun. You haul one lap, you come back and you talk about it, and then you go back out and do another. So I really enjoy that part of it.
Yeah, no, the format's definitely cool. 2 days is a long time.
Yeah.
As far as like, I think it's like 6 tests a day, so it makes it for a long weekend. But yeah, they're good for sure.
That's why I run the full fast sprint, and they went to one day full gas. I always say full fast, but full gas sprint. And honestly, for work for me, it was like travel and getting back and stuff. And I did a 2-day format before, and it's like you were so tired coming in off the weekend, and I'm like, I gotta go to work tomorrow. So
right,
yeah. So are you still with you're still with Coach Rob, right?
Yeah, me and him are still together.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
the last time that we talked to you, Mike, you were actually talking about how you just came off of being like having a sickness that really kind of put you down last year, and then we had Coach Rob on the show, in front of the show now as well. Talk to us about the same thing. How did the off season go in preparation to get your body ready for this season coming in, trying to really pick up the puzzle pieces and put them together?
Yeah, I mean, we had honestly a really productive winter. My riding coach is actually Scott Plessinger. So I go down to Florida every year with him, and we spent we do like a boot camp. So January was like a boot camp, and it's like really dang gnarly. It's definitely not easy, like long days, but it's totally worth it in the end. But in general, we had a really good like off season, I would say, and did a lot of riding, never missed a day. Tried to stay injury free and just be smart with it. Usually I would pretty much just dig myself a hole like without Coach Rob, and we did a lot of monitoring with making sure. It sounds crazy, but I was burning like 5,000 calories a day.
Wow.
So we were just making sure we weren't going a deficit weekly, and just really staying on top of everything.
Yeah. I tell you what, man, Coach Rob, he has it like down to a science, doesn't he? Like I did his, I'm a member of like Moto E there, and like he has all those like sheets you got to fill out and like certain things, man. He has it to like, if you eat, you log your food and you tell how you feel 30 minutes afterwards. It's really crazy how he does everything. It's pretty cool.
Apparently, I need to figure out where those sheets are. Because I need some lessons on training.
Yeah.
So it's funny that you mentioned Scott Plessinger, because we had a question for you that wanted to know what you thought of training with somebody like a legend like Scott Plessinger, and how do you feel that maybe has elevated your performance?
Yeah, so I've been working with Scott for a little bit now. He's obviously done it and done really well at GNCCs, so he kind of knows, but he was definitely pointing some major things out on the bike, and we had actually a pretty good group there. So we were always pushing each other, but Scott's just filled with knowledge, and honestly, it's just helped me a ton. But even like with Aaron, like he'll give me some insights on what those guys are doing, like at the Baker's factory a little bit, and then just some cool stuff. But he's just a good guy to have in your corner for any advice. And then, but yeah, mainly on the track, he's just has an eye for if I'm slacking in certain spots.
Yeah. Yeah. So run us through the weekend. You got to Big Buck. Obviously, you've had success at this track before, so I'm sure the vibes going into the track were good because it's a familiar place where you've had a lot of success before. How did you feel going into the race, and how did the race play out for you this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, this is my third win in a row at Big Buck for round one. So I'm not sure how many people have done that, but that's pretty dang cool.
Start calling you
I was
Justin
stoked
Barker.
about that. But in general, like it went really well. Obviously, the race was kind of shaky in the beginning. Had a crash while leading, and then I wouldn't say a crash, a mishap. I got kind of like stuck in a ravine and had to get out and then chase those guys again. So, but overall, it played out good. I think I played it smart compared to some of the other guys. Obviously, they got pretty banged up, but I had a chat with the team. It's just I just gotta be the most consistent guy this year and just be real smart with it. So that's kind of how we mapped the race out. But health was good. Like fitness felt really good. Bike was honestly dialed, so I can't really complain.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people probably felt like a lot of people were overlooking you this year coming in because of the kind of up and down year you had last year. But I'll tell you what, man, I saw like how you rebounded there coming off the summer break, and I really personally had a lot. I thought you were a championship contender, and the way you came out this weekend, I think it proves that you're in the running.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, we're gonna put up a good fight and just really be smart this year. Like obviously, I have Rob in my corner. I've got Scott. I honestly surround myself with really good people, and I think that was the biggest thing this winter. I kind of put some people that just were not good in my life, out the door. But I think in general, like we're in a really good state of mind. I've never really been like this driven about it and been motivated and like focused toward every race. So that feeling's really nice. And I think in general, we're in a good spot for this year.
Yeah, and then not to only just win the XC2 race, you also finished 7th overall. That's got to be an extra confidence booster coming in and doing that well in the overall. Working your way well up into the pro class.
Yeah, I was kind of bummed about that one actually.
Really?
wanted to do better. Like I think first lap I was 3rd overall, so I was like,
wow.
And I got one pit board where I was like 4th, like halfway through. So I was like, dang, like wonder where I can end up. But I think with like 2 laps to go, I kind of backed her down because I had a minute lead in my class, and I was like, we'll just be smart. Don't be dumb here. But
right.
Yeah, I was bummed when I came through. They said like you got 7th. I was like, huh? Like this doesn't make sense.
Well, hey, if you had finished 3rd or 4th overall, you'd have just destroyed it for everybody that picked you in our fantasy game.
I picked them.
And that's why Brandon won this weekend. Yeah. So
like I saw I had like 41 points. And is that good or bad?
No, that's great.
That's great.
That's fantastic.
Okay.
Because what we're doing is we're using the moto scoring format. So 25 points is for your win, but we handicap everybody based upon where you are located in the overall top 20.
Yeah.
So because you were, let me see here, what was it, 14th? Yeah, you were 14th. So you had a higher handicap. So because you ended up finishing 7th, you ended up scoring those 25 points plus whatever handicaps you didn't use. We gave you 2 points for each of that. So that's why, like, basically it incentivizes everybody to try to pick guys that are kind of closer to the bottom of that top 20, kind of higher risk, higher reward type thing. But now, going into this weekend, your handicap's going to be way lower than it was.
That's interesting. Yeah, I was curious. I was looking at the numbers. I was like, I wonder if 41's good or bad.
That's good. We our goal was like, like XC2 guys that are just coming in, or maybe some A guys that are fast, try to get them some recognition so that maybe that'll help build their name as well as they come up through the ranks. So
yeah, like Ben Kelly and Josh Strang and Stu Baylor, Thad Duvall, those guys. Well, now that the guys are hurt, they're going to have to work their way back up once they get going. But those guys are never going to be your highest point scorers. They're kind of like they could be a solid pick, but your highest point scorers are going to be the guys that are closer to the bottom of the top 20 and work their way up. But they also could be the biggest risk because if they finish outside the top 20, they get 0 points.
Right.
Okay.
I know it's a lot of numbers just kind of floating around.
Right. No, that makes sense.
Yeah. So that's our goal. It's funny because you have to do a bike and quad team, and people are like, can I just do bikes and can I just do quads? Like, no, you got to do both, man.
you can do one or the other, but you're only looking at half points. So.
Yeah, that quad race was dang interesting. Those guys were all close.
Yes, it was, man.
Yeah. Did you you had a front row seat for that, huh?
Yeah, I did. I was like, dang.
Yeah, they put on a show. We actually just had Brycen on talking about that race and watching it on Racer TV. It was wild for sure. But we're looking forward to seeing that type of racing in the bikes as well this year. You guys, it's awesome to see, that third hour, is what is really, really interesting to see, because it seems like in that third hour, you see people start making moves. Like Stu started coming up through the pack and reaching for the front. And it was funny because they were talking about the whole Racer TV broadcast about how, well, he's way back here. But then once you see, the back of your mind, at the end of the game, the cream is going to rise to the top. And that third hour just seems to play out so wildly usually.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of watching a little bit of recap as well, and I was like, dang, Stu is kind of just floating around with those guys. I think I want to say Ben was kind of up front. Ben and Josh is what I heard, at least. And yeah, I mean, Stu's strong at the end for sure. But I kind of expected him to run up front real early, but I think he's just finding his groove later on.
Yeah, I think he has that extra little boost in that third hour or something. He just waits for it.
Yeah, he's got a little switch or something. He takes it on. I got a quick question for you, Mike. Do you think there's a difference between when you line up on XC2 and when you line up on XC1? Because you've done both. But I notice a lot of times, four-wheelers and dirt bikes both, you'll have those XC2 guys that can run really far in the front, and then they move up, and it's like there's some kind of mental barrier or something like that it's just a little bit different starting with those guys. But, I mean, you put in a solid finish in both. So I didn't know what you had on thoughts for that.
Yeah, honestly, the XC1 guys are in a kind of different ballpark. When I lined up with them, I wasn't, honestly, that was the least nervous I've ever been. And it was all good, but they're just so precise with where they put their bike, how they approach the race. And I think in XC2, a lot of guys they're younger and they just pretty much just send it, honestly. Kind of shut their brain off. But these guys they're pretty much veterans. Let's be honest, they're at least 30 years old or close to it. So they've been around for a long time, and they know what to do when in the race. So when I lined up with them, I noticed they're just super precise and they're not afraid to push you out of the way. I remember I got booted a couple of times and some guys were getting pretty mad. If I would try and pass them, whatever. So I don't know, in our class, we kind of have this, everyone knows who's quick and they'll kind of, let you around if you're that guy. But in XC1, it's whoever's they're not letting you around. So you got to really fight in that class, it seems like. But I think whenever I do get up there, it'll be different. But at least I did get to try it.
Yeah. So, I mean, from kind of what I took about that was kind of what we talked about with Brycen is it takes racecraft, a lot of racecraft to be able to race those veterans. And that's where you separate it. It sounds like, right?
Yeah. Their racecraft is really, really good. And In XC2, you kind of don't see that as much, or it's maybe more inconsistent where they're just like strength, for instance, like he's so good at just race strategy and just even weekly, like he's so smart about training and stuff. So I think that's huge for those guys.
Yeah.
We have a couple listener questions actually. Bradley Smith actually just says hey, he's kind of offended. He said 30's not old. And then Walker Taylor wants to know about you racing the MAXC series in Indiana.
Yeah, I used to race that series on Super Minis actually. That's kind of our local series up in Indiana. It was actually a really dang good series. I raced it for like 3 years or something, but yeah, it's gone now. So I'm sure he's just referring back to the good old days.
Oh, nice.
Good old days, huh?
The good old days. Those are always fun. So are we looking forward to Florida? Are we pumped?
Yeah, I'm stoked. I'm actually leaving Friday to go head down and ride and train with Jordan Ashburn a bit.
Oh, nice.
He's got a place down there he's been riding that looks really similar to the race. So get my feet wet and go have some fun in the sand.
That's one guy that I think is going to get a couple wins this year coming up is Jordan Ashburn.
Yeah, he's a sleeper for sure. Like he's really good. But he's like that quiet guy for sure. He's not flashy on the bike maybe or even on social media, but he's gnarly on a bike.
Yeah, we would love to have him on sometime and talk to him because it's so amazing to see somebody always there so consistently. And I know he's actually probably tired of hearing how consistent and good he is. But I'm telling you, Brandon and I have both already called it this year. It's going to happen, or it's happening for sure. Yeah.
Maybe while you're down there with him, he can train you for some hard enduros, and you can try those out with him too.
I'm good, dude. He can have that.
I don't blame you, man. I don't know how those guys find any joy in that. I really do not know. I'm just like, dude, they just like launched their bike up a rock. Now they got to climb up it to get to their bike. I'm like, what is fun about that?
Or you like walk your bike through the whole section.
Right. Yeah. I'm just like, what is so fun? I don't understand it. But I mean, I guess if you're probably as good as him, he can probably just hop right up there and whatever.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch. I'll give you that.
It makes really good YouTube videos.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So my last question for you would be, do you think you will get an overall podium this season? Because I think it's very possible by looking at your lap times and where you were running this weekend. But do you feel that you are able to do that from the second line and, get a top three or, potentially even a win? You were there in the beginning of the race. So is it just, putting the whole race together and figuring that part out, or?
Yeah. So I think, it's just kind of putting the full race together. I think it is possible, like you're saying. I wouldn't put it out of the question for this year. Like that would be a goal for sure. But I kind of realized that it seems like the XC2 guys, we like sprint while they're kind of like in trail rider mode, but obviously going really fast on the first 2-3 laps. And then later they click it up. So I think it would almost be like I'd have to sprint, catch a good group of them, and then just ride with them the rest of the race and like, be there with them, because at the end of the race is when they go, it seems like all out. So that's where I think they got me this past weekend. And I heard the guys, the team was saying that there's like a group, like a pretty solid group, like not far in front of me. I was like, well, why didn't you tell me that? I tried at least. I don't think they wanted me to crash like all the other guys. So.
Oh man, that would have been.
But yeah, it's possible.
Yeah. I mean, it might make it a little bit harder though, like you were saying, probably because those guys are going a little bit slower at the beginning of the race, but they're all doing it. Where for you and XC2, you need to be sprinting at the beginning of the race because everybody else in your class is doing that. So that might hurt you a little bit, maybe on trying to cruise for that beginning of the race. But like you were saying, if you can catch them pretty quick and then get a good groove with them and just kind of cruise along, then that might be the answer.
Yeah, I think you're right. Honestly, it's tough. Like obviously you feel different about every track, and I didn't even realize like I was that far up beginning this last weekend. It just felt like at ease. And if it's one of those races, I feel like we could definitely do it. If I was getting info and like where I was overall and stuff. So I don't know. We'll just have to see, and that would be pretty much a dream come true if I could do that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I mean, you're going back here, what, 3 races? So I mean, you never know.
I mean, he's gonna have to put it way up there to score those points again in fantasy.
Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah, we gotta make it harder on these guys to score those high points. So,
shoot.
Hey, Mike, we appreciate you coming on, and man, just good luck to you this season. Stay safe, and we're excited to see how this year plays out. It looks like it's going to be a good, solid racing year in the XC2 class, and obviously in the overall as well. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your time with us and talking to us about your round 1 victory.
Yeah, no problem. I really appreciate you guys having me on. Glad you brought me back. That was good. But yeah, hopefully I'll be back again and chat about some more success. But yeah, appreciate it, and hopefully you guys have a good rest of your show.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Thank you,
tell Coach Rob we said hi, and we'll have to have him back on as well to tell everybody how to whip themselves up into shape.
Right.
There you go. I can't let them give the secrets away.
Right.
So we gotta keep it hush hush a little bit.
That's right.
There we go. All right, Mike. Thanks again.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Just thank you again, and I'm sure we'll be in touch.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We'll talk to you down the road, man.
All right, sounds good.
All right, later.
Yeah, it was good to hear from Mike again.
It was. I mean, such a solid guy, solid race this weekend, and obviously coming out of round 1 healthy is the primary goal. But coming out of round 1 healthy with a win under your belt going into Florida, sounds like he's comfortable in Florida. Going down there to train with Ashburn. I wonder if they're going to Croom. I meant to ask him that.
I hope not, because then the ATV guys might have to show him up. I mean, I'm just saying the ATV videos are way more valuable from Croom than what we've seen from the dirt bike guys right now. Because they're jumping each other and everything.
Yeah. I think these guys are just trying to get this ATV sport growing back again and working and throwing those videos out. I mean, they're pretty cool to watch.
They are pretty cool to watch. I feel like the ATV sports, and it's in a good spot. It's in a good sweet spot right now. We only have Yamaha making bikes, but I mean, I tell you what, man, good, exciting racing.
People swear Honda's coming back, but I don't know.
I'll see when I believe it. But good, hey, let me ask you this: Would McGill be happy if Honda came back? Because remember when he was on the show and he was talking about how it's like finding that diamond in the rough when you find a Honda. I think he enjoys the
hunt,
almost the scavenger hunt.
I don't know. At a certain point, you got to have something to be able to buy.
It's getting harder. Isn't it?
I'm running into the same problem with Suzuki, but I don't know. When he was at the banquet, he said, "Ride red till you're dead."
Yeah,
so he's going to need something to ride.
That's right. It's he's like one of those car collectors out there looking for that good barn find.
Yeah,
like someone bought one and maybe rode it like an hour and just set it and collect dust. So.
Yeah, I tell you what, the Honda,
like your bike.
Collecting dust. Did you see how shiny? Hey, Devin commented how shiny that thing was. Hey, we need to schedule a day like whenever it stops raining, because we got flood warnings out here.
Right.
But the three of us will get together and go riding here across the hill.
He's like, man, I can't believe he's did
and
that.
we'll see who has trouble keeping up, huh, Brandon?
Hey, that's fine. I'll bring a dirt bike. We're all good.
I got some trails at the house, so I mean, if you guys need to come over and use those, if I flood, we're all done.
We're all done.
Hey, and then if we still need to have, we need to start talking about dates when we want to have that ride day out at Track 93.
Yeah,
we'll get some guys together. Maybe have a cookout, split line ride day.
Yeah.
So
it'll be just us three.
It's gonna be fun.
That's fine with me. That just means we get more room on the track.
That's right. Right. It won't be so dusty.
Not as many people to look at Brandon and I and talk about how slow we're going.
Right. Yeah, I did see a couple jumps there though. I'd like to try some tricks off of. So I mean, I think that'd be cool. That on video.
Yeah.
And then maybe we could be almost as cool as like John Blotta shooting up the hill.
fair.
So
Yeah, that was pretty amazing again.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay, another thing that I wanted to touch on with that hill, and the name of the rider is slipping me right now, but the bike guy, did you see where he jumped it was on Mikey Wayne's page on his Instagram. He jumped a down rider and crossed from the right line up the hill over to the left at the top of the hill.
Really?
was it Jack Edmondson?
It may have been Jack
I
Edmondson.
think it was.
Might have been.
Yeah, you guys talk about it real quick, and I'll try to see if I can find it.
That's pretty good. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember seeing it.
That outfit belongs to Matt.
It was definitely one of the Husky guys.
Yeah. So, I mean, what a wild weekend of racing. It's good to be back into racing and to see all these guys doing good. Unfortunately, we had the riders go down and have injuries this week, and they always hate that about the sport. It's just a constant reminder of how dangerous this sport is. But
it's crazy we only get 1 week off and we're back at it, and then there's two together. I mean, that's rough on because you probably have to drive down to Florida, drive all the way back. Are you staying down there? Or are you what are your plans?
So usually I don't run Florida at all.
Oh, okay.
And then on my adult career, I've ran Florida once, and I liked it when I was down there. But this year we're actually going to go down. We're going to run Florida, stay all week, and hit Georgia on the way home.
A little family vacation, or something like that.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's what we'll call it.
That's what you call it. Yeah, it's. I was always curious about that. I'm like, man, how do people do it? Like, take because it would be impossible to drive all the way down to Florida, drive all the way back to West Virginia, and then drive all the way down to Georgia like the next weekend. Like that would just be so. It's a lot. It's a lot for a family, especially a family. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Doug Kirk says he's down. That's 4 of us.
Woohoo.
4 of us are in for the ride day. He says as long as there's not a race that weekend. We will not do it on a race weekend because we wouldn't have anybody. so Doug, we'll count you down as in. Do you want 2 hot dogs or 4? So, man, good show. What do you guys think?
Not to interrupt before we get off of here, but I've actually started doing like some riding classes with people.
Okay.
So
if
anybody
right.
out
Thanks
there,
for mentioning that. I was going to mention that.
So if anybody out there wants to get some one-on-one lessons with your kids, or you don't even have to be kids, if you're adults, whatever you want. Not that I'm Brycen Neal or Adam McGill or anybody, but I might be able to do something to help you out, and maybe we can work together and do some stuff. But I think it's awesome to try to give back to the youth and build the sport up. So I would be interested in helping out any of the youth riders, but you guys can find me on Facebook, Instagram, whatever, and definitely get in touch with me.
Absolutely. We'll if you have a link, we'll post a link to that as well.
Every little tip helps.
Yeah, absolutely. Devin, are you going to be racing the Mountain State Series this year?
So right now, I'm not 100% sure what we're going to do.
Okay.
We'll probably run at least Mountaintop just because that's one of my favorite tracks.
Okay.
But with work and trying to do stuff with the kids and stuff like that, we'll probably run one local series and the nationals. My main focus for this year is trying to see if we can win that Junior A title. I tried for it last year and it didn't work out that good. I had too many bike problems, and we actually got COVID, had to miss a couple races. So we'll probably focus on one series, probably run New East Coast. But we'll see where we go with that. If we get some sponsors or something like that kicks in and can help take the burden of some of the parts and race fees, stuff like that, then you never know. But at this point, we're going to try to focus on one local series and then try to focus on the nationals. But I mean, it's a good series. They put in technical tracks, no issues with them. It's just, we don't have the money right now to run all the races. So we're going to do what we can do, but I don't know if we'll qualify for any of the locals. Maybe we'll just run whatever tracks we feel like. But that's kind of where we're at right now.
That's great. Well, man, we're looking forward to following you this year. And dude, hey, awesome job as a guest host. Right. Killed it tonight.
Killed it.
Yeah. First try. So.
Yeah, it's fun having you in. It's not as hard as it looks, is it? I mean, cameras there and everything. But hey, I got some bad news.
What's that?
We got some breaking news. Doug Kirk just let us know that AP7 broke his radius in practice today. So Aaron Plessinger will be out for Supercross.
Man,
Now what are we supposed to do?
I know, right?
No more cowboy videos. No more cowboy hats.
Hey, did anybody see Plessinger, I guess to try to turn bad news into a little bit of a funny, Plessinger at the Daytona 500?
I didn't see it.
There's a picture of him with an old Dale Earnhardt t-shirt on, like basically whitewashed blue jeans tucked in. He looked like you pulled him out of the grandstands of the Daytona 500 in 1992 and put him in to today's day and age.
I had a feeling that was what you were going to say.
I love it.
So, it was awesome.
I had a thought, and I have these a lot, and I know we're probably trying to wrap this up real quick. So we have
Brandon had a thought.
So
Hang on, guys.
No, listen. So
there's smoke everywhere.
Is this even possible? And tell me if this is even possible. And it's out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have Supercross Daytona. We have ATV Supercross Daytona. We have NASCAR Daytona. Have everything they can we not like build like a man-made GNCC course like in Daytona?
That would be amazing.
Somehow.
I mean, there's
darn near enough square footage.
Yeah, I mean, you got the square footage, and I mean, if you go to the local landscaper down there, they'd probably love it. So,
right?
Could you imagine how much dirt you'd actually need? You would have to
just truck of sand and some stakes and just
go up through the grandstands.
Right. I mean, something.
It'd be a really good sprint and throw for ATVs.
Right.
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good.
Speaking of Brandon and his ideas.
Listen, I mean, how badass would that be?
It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
It would be awesome. Speaking of Daytona, though, let's ask a quick question. What do you think? Who do you think is going to win the Daytona Supercross, ATV Supercross?
ATV? Definitely Joel.
Joel?
Yeah. He's going to come back and redeem himself from
So
last
I thought
year.
so too, but has he won the Daytona Supercross yet?
Mm-hmm.
Or has he had a crash every single year?
I feel like it's inevitable at some point to happen, though.
It's got to happen.
I
mean, I tell you what, you look at somebody like Joel and then just the pure raw speed, and it's just like, but we talk about this all the time. We talk about it in the same reference as Walker. You have to be there every single race, either in first or second,
to beat the 44
to win the championship. That's got to be, such a huge burden on Joel Hetrick, that the fact that you can't have an off race.
Right.
You can't have an off race because 44 is not.
Yeah.
And it's not like he doesn't know how to win. He's won the championship before.
He's won it twice. Yeah.
Sometimes he's a little unlucky, like Daytona, he wrecked.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you're out of points because now you got to fight your way back.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, when you get behind and you got to fight your way back, that's never a good place to be.
Right.
But on the other hand, Chad Weenan can get to a spot where he's comfortable because he's always there in the front.
Mm-hmm.
And then that puts Joel at a spot where he can just send it and do what he needs to do to get there. So,
yeah.
Right.
Hey, Dusty Gatus said he's in for the ride day at Track 93. That's 5. We have 5 guys.
5. That's good.
Hey, Gatus Racing, all right? We got 20 guys on the team. I guarantee you all of them will show up.
Nice.
Jeez,
We're in.
We're going to get a pig.
Get the pig. Get the pig ready, boys. Guys.
I'm calling Rastrelli for Daytona.
Rastrelli. Man, I would love to see that. That dude has been through a lot, and it would be good to see him.
He seems like he has the package going on right now for the team around him, and he's in a good place in the spot. I really think he can.
You know who I've been really
impressed with? He's been good at Daytona too.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Janusa.
Yeah.
Have you seen the footage of him lately? He put a couple videos up, and he is shredding.
Mm-hmm.
Who won the Turkey Derby this year? Did he win it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Barely.
Yeah.
Nick's a heck of a rider, and it
helps when you're 115 or something.
I tell you what, if Nick could get a start, he could be a serious contender. It's just always been Nick has always, and he would say it himself, he would always have to ride through the pack to get to the top guys. That's kind of where, because Hetrick always has a good start, Weenan always has a good start, and if you have to ride to the fastest guys, and if you have to ride to the fastest guys in the world to race them, you're just not going to do it.
Right.
No, it's not going to happen, because once you get to them, you've already wore yourself out, and those guys are just cruising at the front. So if you do catch them, they're either going to turn it up, Or you still have to find a line around them,
Right.
which is going to be really hard.
Yeah. Finding lines on ATVs is pretty tough.
What do you mean? They're only like 4 foot wide.
Yeah,
You just
exactly.
got to learn how to move people. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. So, Devin, can we count you in again sometime to guest host?
Yeah, for sure. It's not that far of a drive for me to get here, so
Absolutely.
we can definitely do it again.
Yeah, good times. Good times.
Yeah.
It's been fun having
Hopefully we'll have the walls finished and maybe
some carpet so you're not hearing every little time we touch the floor or every time my dog drops her bone.
Right.
I mean, she's got a bigger set of horns over there than what I got, though.
Yeah, we're trying to train her to be a shed dog. So, and she's sad that she can't go outside. So, why don't we go ahead and end this show, guys? I want to thank Guts Racing, Seal Savers, Sunstar, Sprockets and Chains, and Mountain State Hair Scrambles. Thank you guys for coming on the show and helping us out, making this thing grow. If you guys want to support us, make sure you support the guys that support this show because they're the ones that keep the lights on. Put the OSB board up, which is not cheap. God, it's not cheap.
Jeez.
It took us a small fortune, or took SplitLine a small fortune to enclose this room and put some insulation in.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking you guys might be rich with all the USB in here.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, we probably could sell it and make a lot more money.
If the price of exactly. I almost thought about finding an old building and pulling OSB off the walls to hang it here. So it's quite the feat. So
There it is.
So guys, hey, if you wondered why we had some weird intro music today and we're going to have some weird exit music, it's because we got flagged this week for having
some good music.
Some good music. We got flagged on YouTube and on Facebook, so we're not used to the live stuff. But guys, thanks again for joining us live, for sharing the live videos, and for commenting. We appreciate all you guys and everybody that's going to listen to this and watch us later on. We appreciate all of our listeners. And any last words, Devin?
Yeah, definitely make sure you come back for the live next time. So if you missed it, definitely come back. If you're on here, then you definitely want to see the next show again.
That's right.
Absolutely. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
All right.
Let's peace out. We got to wait for this video to load.
Jesus.
I know.
What are you doing?
That's twice.
Oh, come on, man.
Listen, somebody.
I hate to see when you get back on your full, or you're going to be 3 times as rusty.
Oh, you'll see. You'll see. I might not race a series, but I'm going to race you.
Shoot. You have to come to a race then.
I'm going to be at the races, but we're going to be cut. SplitLine, we're basically media now, right?
No.
Hey, I need people cheering me on. So.
That's right. Need anybody pitting?
Maybe.
There we go. All right, guys.
Oh, man. I love it. Peace, guys.
Later.
Later.
When I'm lonely in the dark, I know you are with me. Yeah.